Welcome to the Plain Books Podcast. Today, we're diving deep into John Maxwell's Today Matters. And we're not talking about, just waiting around for luck or hoping some big opportunity drops in your lap or even just knowing the right people.
Right.
This deep dive is really about something, well, more fundamental, isn't it? It's about how what you do today actually builds the tomorrow you're looking for.
Absolutely. And Maxwell starts with this really relatable image. He brings up that book, Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Exactly. And just like Alexander's day kind of falls apart, he suggests our bigger goals can do the same if we lose focus on, well, right now, the present.
That makes sense. And he sums up the core message of Today Matters
Yeah.
so powerfully, I think, with that statement. Just for today, I will act on these decisions and practice these disciplines, and then one day I will see the compounding results of a day lived well.
It's all about that compound effect, isn't it? The small, consistent actions adding up over time.
Precisely. It's that daily commitment he really hammers home.
And he jumps right in, tackling some, common myths about success, like the idea that it's mostly luck.
Right. He puts some numbers on that, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Like lottery odds, basically.
Yeah, 50 million to 1 or something crazy. Not exactly a solid strategy. And then there's the whole waiting for the perfect opportunity idea.
He quotes John Wooden there, I think. Something about it being too late to prepare when opportunity knocks.
Exactly. When opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare. You've got to be ready beforehand.
And the networking myth, that connections alone are enough.
He pushes back on that too. Connections matter, sure, but you need to actually bring something, have value to offer. It's his whole hop to it, rather than just hoping for it idea.
I like that framing. It's active.
Very active. And focusing so much on today also helps us avoid getting stuck, either romanticizing the past or just endlessly worrying about the future.
That saying he mentions, the older I am, the better I was.
We can all fall into that trap, right? Inflating what we could have done, maybe at the expense of what we can do right now.
Okay, so in this deep dive, we're going to unpack these core principles Maxwell lays out. We'll look at how to actually make today matter.
Yeah, we'll dig into some of the insights, the actionable stuff you can maybe start thinking about applying today, using the stories and quotes from the book to kind of bring it to life.
Sounds good. So where does he start building this case?
Well, a foundational piece is what he calls the power of daily discipline. He argues pretty strongly that success isn't usually some big bang event.
Right, it's the accumulation.
Exactly. It's the result of consistent daily disciplines. And he uses himself as an example, actually.
The quote filing.
Yeah, that 40-year habit of reading and filing quotes every single day.
40 years. That's,
Yeah.
wow, that's commitment.
It really is. And he directly links that daily, maybe seemingly small action to his ability to write and speak effectively. It's like this huge resource he built one day at a time.
A daily investment in his future self.
Perfectly put. And building on that idea of daily action, he introduces the Daily Dozen.
Okay, the daily dozen, what's that?
It's 12 key areas he identifies where making the right decisions and managing them daily leads towards success. Things like attitude, priorities, health, family,
Thinking, commitment, finances.
faith, relationships, generosity, values, and growth. It's a pretty comprehensive list.
It really covers a lot of ground. We probably can't hit all 12 in detail today, right?
No, probably not. But we can definitely explore some of the really key ones, see how focusing on them today sets you up for tomorrow, according to Maxwell. Where should we start? Maybe attitude? That feels pretty central.
Yeah, let's start there. He seems to think attitude isn't fixed.
Absolutely not. He frames it entirely as a choice, something you decide on each day. He even shares a personal story about being named Citizen of the Month just because people noticed his positive outlook.
Huh. That's interesting. And his wife's realization, too, about her own happiness.
Right. Margaret, his wife, coming to understand that her happiness was her own responsibility, not something he could just provide for her. That's a huge shift in perspective, taking ownership.
It really is. And he talks about the impact our attitude has on others, too, doesn't he? These terms, polluters and purifiers.
Polluters are those folks who just seem to spread negativity, right? Always finding the problem. Purifiers, on the other hand, can take that negativity but somehow filter it, offer a more positive or constructive spin.
So the question is, which one are you when people interact with you?
Exactly. Do they leave feeling better or worse? It's a challenging question. And he uses Lance Armstrong's story, battling cancer, maintaining that positive mindset despite, a really grim prognosis. It just shows the power of attitude in facing huge challenges.
That's incredibly powerful. Okay, so attitude is a daily choice. What about priorities and time management? He calls time the most valuable coin.
Yeah, that Carl Sandburg quote is fantastic, isn't it? Time is the most valuable coin in your life. You and you alone will determine how that coin will be spent. Be careful that you do not let other people spend it for you. Really makes you stop and think.
It does. How do you guard that coin? How do you set priorities according to Maxwell?
He gives us a framework, basically 3 key questions to ask ourselves.
Okay, what are they?
First, what is required of me? You know, the non-negotiables, your core responsibilities.
Got it.
Second, what gives me the greatest return? Where do you get the biggest bang for your buck, time-wise? High-impact activities.
Makes sense. And the third?
Third, what gives me the greatest reward? This is about personal satisfaction, fulfillment. But he cautions that this shouldn't, completely override the first 2. It's a balance.
A balance. And the Howard Hughes story fits in here as a kind of warning.
Yeah, exactly. Someone with almost unlimited resources, but maybe lacked that clear focus, those defined priorities. And it led to, well, a pretty isolated and arguably unfulfilled life despite all the external success.
Devoting a little to everything means committing a great deal to nothing. That was his point.
Precisely. Focus is key.
Okay, another big area for Maxwell is family. He's very clear that success has to include family, or it's not really a success for him.
Very clear. He says, success would be impossible if I achieved outwardly but failed to take my family with me on the journey. That's a strong statement.
It is. And he shares his own story about needing to consciously reprioritize his wife and kids.
Realizing he wasn't present enough and making a deliberate shift. He also suggests families actually define a shared philosophy based on core values.
Like commitment to something bigger, maybe God, or a cause.
Yeah, or continual growth, creating shared experiences, building confidence in each other, contributing to life. It's about finding what works for your family and keeping it simple and clear.
And the Karen Hughes example, choosing family over that high-profile White House job, really drives that point home.
It does. It shows that sometimes real success means making tough choices that align with those deeper values, even if others don't get it.
All right, let's shift gears to thinking. Good thinking. He argues great thinking comes from, well, practicing good thinking every day.
Right. It's not just innate talent, it's a skill you develop, like that story behind the Dummies book.
Oh yeah, that started from just a casual comment, didn't it?
Exactly. A customer makes an offhand remark, and John Kilcullen, the thinker, sees the potential and runs with it. Turns into a publishing empire.
So it's about recognizing and acting on ideas.
And making time for it. Maxwell suggests finding your peak thinking time and setting aside dedicated time daily. Because ideas can be fleeting, right? That Dave Goetz quote, ideas have a short half-life.
They capture them quickly.
And the Hampton Fisher story is just incredible how a teacher's belief, a change in his thinking, completely transformed his life trajectory from really difficult circumstances.
Okay, the power of mindset again.
Absolutely. Which leads nicely into commitment. Maxwell sees commitment as that critical differentiator.
The thing that gets you through the friction, the obstacles. He shared his own building project story, right?
Yeah, illustrating that commitment isn't easy. It often involves struggle. But it's necessary. Think about Churchill during WWII. That level of unwavering commitment.
A massive example. Or Liz Murray getting her education while homeless. That's profound commitment.
Truly inspiring. And Maxwell gives practical advice. Count the cost beforehand. Know what you're signing up for. Make excellence your standard.
And the flip side, the cautionary tale.
Mickey Mantle. Incredible talent, but maybe lacked that consistent off-field commitment, so arguably didn't reach his fullest potential. It's a reminder that dedication matters across the board.
Okay, let's touch on finances. Sound financial management is part of making today matter.
Yeah, he stresses managing money daily. He talks about the misery debt can cause.
And the options and freedom that having a financial margin provides.
Right. And he brings in John Wesley's advice. Earn all you can, save all you can, give all you can. That balanced approach.
Earn, save, give. Simple but powerful.
And Suze Orman's story is great here, too. Coming from financial struggles herself to becoming this guru, it shows it's learnable. Financial well-being is attainable with effort.
Absolutely. Now, faith is another one of the daily dozen. How does he approach that?
He positions faith as something that provides meaning, purpose. He acknowledges people react differently. Some ignore it, some fight it, some misunderstand it.
That poem he mentions from Jane Chapman's funeral Sounds like it offers a perspective on life and death through faith.
It does, beautifully illustrating that perspective. His main point seems to be that everyone has faith in something. The real choice is where you place it.
And Evelyn Husband's story, after the Columbia shuttle disaster.
A powerful example of faith providing comfort and strength in the absolute worst of times.
Okay, let's talk relationships. Investing in them.
Super important in Maxwell's view. Likability, relational skills, they matter for getting ahead. He mentions his psychology professor pointing out how rare true friendship is.
And reading Dale Carnegie, prompting him to be more intentional.
Exactly. How to win friends and influence people. It made him realize he needed to actively build relationships, not just let them happen.
So what's the key? Valuing people.
That's fundamental. Genuinely valuing people, trying to understand their needs, their insecurities, their hopes. He has that 101% principle.
Find one good thing and give 100% encouragement for it.
You got it. A simple, practical way to build positive connections. And his own friendship with Bill Bright shows the deep impact of really investing in those key relationships over time.
Mentorship and deep friendship. Okay, how about generosity?
He defines it not by what you get, but by what you give. He talks about his brother Larry and sister-in-law Anita being really generous early on and how that shaped him.
Instilling that value of living to give.
It starts in the heart, he says, and plays out in serving others. He quotes Andrew Carnegie, "No man becomes rich unless he enriches others."
That's a strong connection between personal success and benefiting others.
Definitely. And Dave Thomas from Wendy's is his example here. Not just a successful businessman, but hugely impactful through his charitable work, especially with adoption.
Living generously. All right, two more from the dozen we should touch on. Values and growth. Let's start with values.
Okay. Living by strong values daily gives direction. He talks about reading J. Oswald Sanders' Spiritual Leadership and deciding to lead based on his values, even if unpopular.
And that story about choosing to honor a commitment to home interiors over meeting President Bush.
Yeah, that's a powerful illustration. Sticking to your word, your values, even when something seemingly bigger comes along, your values act as that internal compass.
Especially in tough situations. Okay, finally, personal growth.
Crucial, because growth isn't automatic, right? You have to be intentional. He uses that funny Tennessee Ernie Ford line. He started out at the bottom and sort of likes it there.
Yeah, highlights the danger of just staying put, stagnating.
So you need to commit to change, set specific growth goals, and he emphasizes building on strengths, echoing Peter Drucker. Don't just focus on fixing weaknesses.
Focus on what you're good at and get better.
Right. And Richard Carmona's journey to becoming Surgeon General from dropout to that position is an amazing testament to what continuous growth can achieve.
An incredible story. So it seems like all 12, or at least the ones we've discussed, they all tie back to that central theme.
They really do. He wraps it up by saying, the greatest of all insights is that we cannot be tomorrow what we do not do today. It all comes down to now.
The power of the present moment, the choices you make, the actions you take right now.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. This deep dive into Today Matters really underscores that impact, doesn't it? Focusing on the here and now. Maxwell's insights, those stories, it feels like a really practical guide.
It does. It gives you a framework for thinking about how to make today actually count towards the future you want.
And we definitely encourage you, listening, to explore these ideas further. You can find John Maxwell online, check out his work on social media, maybe share your own aha moments from this, or how you might apply something starting, well, today.
Yeah, absolutely. And if this discussion resonated, we highly, highly recommend getting a copy of Today Matters. You can really dig into all 12 areas of the Daily Dozen and get the full picture.
Take the challenge, maybe. Let the ideas in the book enhance your life. Pick just one or two things we talked about, attitude, priorities, commitment, whatever stood out to you, and consciously work on them daily.
See what happens. See how focusing on today starts to shape that tomorrow you're aiming for.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the Plain Books podcast.
We really hope this exploration gave you some valuable insights, maybe a renewed focus on the power that's right here, right now, and today.
Please do follow, subscribe, and share the Plain Books podcast with anyone else you know who's on that journey of learning and growing. We appreciate you listening.